So, as you may know, I've been on a kick of playing video games where you get to explore any world you're in, just going around and slaying demons. Lately, it's just been Resident Evil, playing the whole Resident Evil series, but I did decide to give this one game a try, and it was totally worth it. It's a game where you get to slice demons up, you get to explore the world, you get to do all these great things as a half-human, half-demon. A lot like Resident Evil, but the big difference with this game is that you get to go into Purgatory, into the demon's realm to fight them. And if you don't know what game I'm talking about the 2013 reboot of Devil May Cry, which, in my personal opinion, is a really fun game. It was created by Ninja Theory, the same gaming company that made Senua's Sacrifice and Hellblade 2. That's for Steam and Xbox. I'm getting a Steam Deck soon, so I can be able to finally play Hellblade 2. I'm super excited for that. But Devil May Cry, this reboot, is super fun. Like, I had no idea how much fun I would have while I was playing it, but I had so much fun. Just the gameplay is so much fun. I'm gonna give a summary of the story, tell what's going on. So, instead of me just saying so much fun, I'm just gonna explain what goes on in the story. So, let's get into it. I just have to say at the beginning that the graphics of this game are really cool. They're very immersive. It feels like you're actually inside the game. The game starts out just outside of the city. You got people walking around. You see where the story will take place. And then you got the introduction to the main villain, Mundus. And he says that he's going to be controlling the city one of these days. But there is a problem. His arch enemy's son is still out there in the city. And his name is Dante. And then we're introduced to who Dante actually is. And it's one of the best introductions any video game character has ever had. When I say Dante has a brilliant introduction for this game, I'm not lying. Like, he gets pulled into Purgatory by this demon called a Hunter, and he's had a wild night at a nightclub, so he's naked, and he sees this Hunter, it shoots a claw forward, and he's like, "Get your claw off my trailer." And I love that he already knows he's in Purgatory, like, it's not like, "Where am I?" or anything like that, but it's so funny. Like, the way that he gets dressed, like, he jumps through the trailer as it gets pulled onto him, and he's just, it's a, like, slow motion of him, like, getting dressed. He's putting on this tank top, this slice of pizza's, like, covering his dick as he's getting his pants on and his shirt on. I love the introduction to him. It's so funny. Anyway, the fighting is awesome. I love it because, like, whatever is happening in Purgatory is happening in the real world. Like, there's this part when Dante's fighting the demons. What's really cool is the fighting in this game is very, very fast-paced. Like, it doesn't pause. Well, it does pause to show, like, the action movements and stuff, but it'll show how to do these actions while you're in the combat. So, it's really fun to keep on doing the combat while the gameplay is still running. Anyway, like what I said before, whatever happens in Purgatory happens in the real world. Like, this Ferris wheel comes loose through the parkway, through the, like, Ferris pier place, and, like, it comes loose in the Purgatory, so it comes loose in the real world, and it's just awesome to be able to kind of see this real world through hell and know that the consequences that are happening in purgatory are the consequences that are happening in the real world. It's just awesome. Like, I've never played a game like this before, and I loved it. I love the concept like that. Fighting the hunter demon itself is actually pretty fun to play as Dante while hunting it, because there's parts where, yeah, he'll chase it through the streets of the pier, fighting, slicing up all these different demons, shooting them down. But, yeah, like, chasing them through a fun house, like, it exploding through mirrors and him just hunting it down. But he does meet this one girl named Kat, who has the ability to be able to transport Dante to purgatory and from the real world back to the real world. What's really cool is that Dante can see her when Dante's in purgatory, so if there's any aid or anything, he can speak to her. What's cool is, like, when they have conversations or anything, between Dante and Kat, the colors of the game will go black and white. Kind of like what you would expect Purgatory to be. Person in Purgatory having an interaction with a person in the real world. Anyway, I love, like, when Dante finally catches up with the hunter, and Kat's like, careful, this hunter is not your normal brawler. And Dante's just like, neither am I. And the fighting with Dante and the hunter is really cool. I do love the fact that Dante has these two pistols, Ebony and Ivory, and I do love the fact that they have limitless ammo. Like in Resident Evil, you always have to be careful not to run out with your ammo, or you can go around the world, collect the area you're in, collecting ammo out of boxes, or they're laying on tables or whatever. But I do love that his guns have infinite ammo. That was pretty cool. Anyway, fighting the hunter was really fun. I just love the introduction to this game because it was great. So eventually Dante defeats the hunter and he's back in the real world, and he's just walking down the side of the street, and Kat comes up in his car and she's like, Dante! And Dante's just like, look lady, I did what you wanted, what do you want from me? And Kat just says, there's someone after you, and I can take you to someone that can help you. If you don't help either of us, this world is going to be destroyed. We need your help, Dante. So Dante agrees to go with Kat, and she ends up taking him to see Virgil. And we find out that Virgil is Dante's brother. And their interaction is so funny. Like, Dante has no recollection of Virgil because he's had his memory wiped. But, like, when Virgil first meets Dante, he's like, you don't recognize me, do you, Dante? And Dante's just like, should I really? And Virgil asks Dante if he knows if there's anything that's been done to his memory. And Dante said he had meningitis as a kid, like when he was like 7 years old, and it just like wiped his memory clean. And Virgil said, yeah, they told me I was in a car crash when I was, and it wiped my memory clean. Age 7. And I love that Dante doesn't connect anything. He's just like, so? And Virgil and Kat said that we're going to send you to Purgatory to go to the house where you grow up, and there you're going to be able to get weapon upgrades. You're going to be able to get your memory back so you can help us stop Mundus from destroying the world. And we need your help on this. And so Kat and Virgil, Kat creates this one symbol, and Dante agrees that whatever's going on, he's going to take part of, because, of course, he doesn't want the Earth to be destroyed. So he agrees to go back to Purgatory and go to his house to collect the memories he lost when he was a kid. It really is fun exploring Dante and Virgil's house, when Dante's in purgatory exploring it, not only is he getting back his memories by looking at portraits of his parents and the past wars that were going on, but it's awesome because he's gaining all these weapons and things that he can use later in the game to fight these enemies. But it's fun to use these combos with these weapons you gain to be able to slice and dice these demons. And when you're slicing them, like, the game says how well you're doing them, like from F to D to A, how savage you are with slicing up the demons, chopping them up. It's really fun. So, after Dante comes back out of purgatory, after learning about certain memories about who he is and where he came from, Virgil takes him to this one area where it's a giant mural of, like, angels versus demons. And, Virgil tells Dante that the main demon, Mundus, the main villain of the game, is the person that killed both of their parents, and it's their duty as their children to stop Mundus from taking over the world. And at this point, Dante's like, okay, I totally get this. I get what you're laying down. We need to stop this guy.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei.
And it's just like, it's so cool that how it just like clicks for Dante and he decides to go with it to save the world. I liked it. The first boss of the game is actually really fun to get to. Well, technically second if you count the hunter at the beginning of the game. But it's awesome. Like, Virgil says that Mundus has this plan he's gonna use to control people to basically, like, do his bidding. Eventually it'll kill them. And it turns out that it's through this, like, energy drink that is supposedly used to help people, like, just feel younger, feel better about themselves. And Dante and Kat go on this mission to stop the succubus. And it's fun just going through the factory, like seeing the energy drink run through these tubes and everything. And Dante ends up having to go to Purgatory, the Purgatory's version of the factory, to get to the succubus. And getting to the succubus is probably the funnest fight that Devil May Cry has done. Because just the way that Dante and the succubus talk to each other is so funny. Like, the succubus, when Dante fights through all these demons and he finally gets to the succubus, the succubus is like, I have been doing this for 5,000 years. And Dante's just like, really? You don't look a day over 1,000. And the fight is just awesome because he's like Spider-Man. Like, he has to pull the succubus down from the ceiling during the fight, and there's parts where the succubus will attack the platform that Dante's standing on. So Dante has to use one of his weapons to, like, Spider-Man create a hook shot from one of his weapons to get to the next platform, and it'll do like a slow motion scene as Dante's going through the attacks of the succubus, landing on other platforms and dodging the attacks on that platform while you're attacking the succubus during the fighting. It is awesome. So cool. Anyway, the fight ends like they both fall to the bottom of the factory, and Dante is on this platform avoiding the succubus's attacks, and just like the energy drink is flowing into this turbine, and the succubus ends up like falling into the river, but she grabs onto this pillar to, like, you know, not be grinded up, and Dante ends up just like slicing up the succubus's limbs until she eventually has to let go, and she ends up being ground up. But just like at the end of the boss fight, when she dies, Dante gets this new power. It's kind of like Hulk hands, honestly, but it's awesome. They're like demon red Hulk hands. It's cool. It's just a really cool upgrade that Dante gets at the end of the boss fight. So, after taking out the succubus, Virgil and Cad say, you done well, Dante, but in order to get a good upper hand on Mundus, we need to take out his eyes on the city, and they are everywhere. So a big guy we need to take out is, he's just like this news reporter, but he's in purgatory. He's also this demon that works for Mundus, and Kat points him to this tower, and she's like, that's not the tower though. That is. And she points to the reflection of the tower in the water, and Dante is like, okay, what? And it just explains to him that it's a completely different tower in Purgatory that this reporter is working from to help Mundus. So Dante agrees to go into Purgatory, and you go on this awesome, super, like, this totally different version of Purgatory that is super fun. Like, you Spider-Man your way around to get through, and you meet this one character who is... he is hilarious in it. Like, you have to help him. There's a point where you have to help him get his eye back from these creatures. And the whole journey to get the eye back is really cool. Like, there's an upside down subway area that Dante has to get through. Like, there's parts where he'll be fighting demons, but he has to be careful not to, like, jump around, or he'll have to, like, time his jumps just right, because at the same time where he's fighting demons, the train will be passing through, so he could get hit by the train, he could be killed by the train if you're not careful while fighting the demons. It's awesome. Anyway, to get the eye back, he tracks these demons to this one glass floor area. And he can't stay on the glass too much because the glass will crack under him. But you do end up killing all the demons. And at the end, what I love about Dante is that he has a quote for everything. Because he's just like, that was a cracking good time. So, anyway, you return your the side character's eye back to him, and it's cool because he creates a bridge for Dante to get to the tower of the news reporter. So this whole side quest was awesome. Such a cool Purgatory side quest. Super fun. I love what the game did at this point because it just feels like you're in a newsroom at this point. Like, Dante, he has to jump across these platforms. He has to grapple hook his way to this, like, 3D globe that when he jumps in, he fights the second boss, which... it sounds kind of stupid. It's just like this techno head of the demon. And honestly, he's probably one of the coolest boss fights though in the game. It's really fun because you use the Hulk hands to smash up these demons and the face at the same time. But what I love about the fight is that once you get him to the midpoint in health, he like kind of teleports you to like breaking news area where you're fighting these demons, and it's like the fight is shot from the sky. It's shot on black and white camera, so it's Dante fighting these demons. The spotlight is shining on him as he's fighting these demons. It is super cool. After a while, after fighting the demons, you go back to fighting the main boss, and after you kill him, like, Dante says, "You're fired, Bob," and he shoots Bob twice, dead, and he gets another power-up weapon upgrade. They're like, I want to say they're like kunai. I can't remember what they're called. They're like ninja throwing stars, basically. It's really cool that every boss that Dante kills, he gets a new weapon and some kind of new upgrade. I loved it. So, it's nearing the end of the game, and Dante, Kat, and Virgil, they decide that to really strike a crushing blow to Mundus, they have to take out his mistress. And I just love the setting for this fight because it's in a nightclub. Like, you're in purgatory. In the real world, a nightclub's going on. So in purgatory, there's a nightclub going on. So you're fighting these demons on a disco floor. There's parts where Mundane's mistress will, like, shift the area around. So, like, there's parts where you're running on a tile pathway floor to get to her. And she can make the floor so, like, if you step on certain tiles, then Dante can lose his health. There's parts of it where there's areas where, it goes super techno. Like, Dante will be fighting these demons using his Hulk hands, like going, Hulk smash! And, he'll have to smash those hands on this lever. Once the lever has been pressed, these, LED road lights will show up that Dante has to run to. And eventually this all leads to fighting Mundane's mistress as well as the spun of Mundane. And it's a fun fight. It's really a fun fight. And eventually you destroy the spawn and you end up taking his mistress captive. And I honestly think they did such a great job with the cutscenes in this game. Like, this was a movie. Like, this cutscene should be for a movie. If they made this game into a movie, this was perfect. Because earlier in the game, like, Cat gets kidnapped. So they do a trade where, like, for Mundane's mistress, they'll get Cat. So they do this trade-off thing at the docks. It is super cool. Like, Mundane's mistress is being super cooperative while Dante is leading her to the villains with a gun at Mundane's mistress's back, and Cat is slowly walking towards them. But Virgil's just like, enough with this shit. And he ends up, like, he's watching from the sidelines, and he ends up shooting Mundane's mistress dead, and Dante's like, shit, no! And there's this whole shootout that goes on. It's awesome. Anyway, Mundane's seeing that his mistress has been killed, and it just pisses him off, and he starts bringing the real world into purgatory. So, like, demons are showing up in the real world, and there's this part where, like, Dante tells Virgil to get out of here. He puts Cat in the car with Virgil. They drive off. Yeah, and yet the city's being destroyed. So Dante, there's a scene where Dante's fighting these demons, trying to protect Virgil and Cat as they're driving through the streets. Like, he'll Spider-Man grapple hook his way through the city, getting rid of this debris or destroying this bridge, so Virgil and Cat can have an awesome escape. And while this whole thing is going on, Mundus is watching from the sidelines with, like, his foresight, and he's like, I'm going to destroy you, Dante. It's one of the coolest parts of the game. Just making sure Cat and Virgil have a safe escape. You feel like Spider-Man. You feel like a demon slayer. It's so cool. So, finally, Dante, Virgil, and Cat decide it's time to go up against Mundane, I'm so sorry, Mundus, and they go up to his tower, and after fighting all these demons and doing these different things to get to Mundus, like, Virgil tells Dante that he has to provoke Mundus and stall him until Virgil can get there, and Dante finally comes face to face with Mundus, and Mundus tackles Dante through a window, and they're fighting as they're free-falling, and Dante's like, have I provoked him enough? As he's saying this to Virgil, and Virgil, Mundus, he's like strangling Dante, and Virgil, he finally arrives, and we finally get the boss fight with Virgil and Dante versus Mundus, and it's not the best boss fight. Like, honestly, it's probably the lamest boss fight of the game. But it's really cool to see these two brothers work together, and just fighting Mundus in the end is awesome, because not only can you grapple hook around while you're fighting him, but you know that the game has sort of way that you know you're up against the big baddie of this game, that if you don't stop Mundus at this point, the world's gonna be destroyed. It's great. Just fighting this boss is fun, because you actually feel like there's something at stake, and it's wonderful. So, after Mundus is destroyed, Virgil, he completely pulls a 180. He's like, now that Mundus is gone, we can rebuild this world how we want. And Dante and Kat are like, Virgil, are you serious? We had just stopped all this madness from happening. Now you want to bring it back? And Virgil's just like, I'm not going to bring it back the way Mundus wanted it. I'm going to create a utopia for us, brother. It's somewhere that we can live without fear. You have to trust me on this. And Kat just feels completely betrayed. Well, Dante and Kat both feel betrayed. And Dante's just like, I'm going to have no part of this. I will stop you. And they have this fight, and the fight between them is a really fun, it's fun because Virgil actually feels like he's putting up a fight against Dante. Like, you're taking everything you learned as Dante throughout the game. Like, you can use all your weapons against Virgil. You can use, the grappling hook and the Hulk hands to smash Virgil up, to use your sword to slice him up or shoot him up. And Virgil, he is going full out in fighting Dante too. He's teleporting around, he's fighting his hardest to kill Dante. It's a really fun fight. What makes the fight far harder about fighting Virgil is once you get him to half health, he'll create clones of himself, and you can't tell if you're fighting the real Virgil or if you're fighting a clone of him. If you're fighting a clone of him, Virgil won't take any damage, his health bar won't go down. But his clones can do damage to you. It is challenging. And what's cool is how lightning is going on. You're fighting with the destruction of the city in the background. Lightning is going around, dark skies everywhere. It is super cool. The sun, it has a feeling if you don't stop Virgil, the world is gonna be destroyed. He's gonna restart the end of the world. Everything that Mundus was doing to destroy the world is what Virgil's gonna do. So you have the feeling, as plain as Dante, is that you have to stop Virgil no matter what. And it's a really cool. So once you stop Virgil, Kat stops Dante from killing him. And Virgil's just wish we could have seen eye to eye, brother. And Dante's just I'll always be there to stop you. And Virgil just is basically, I know you will. I wish you could have come with me, though. And he'll, teleports into this void area. And, Dante's just who am I? And Kat just comforts him, saying that he is Dante. And the two walk off together with their arms around each other. And I love that when they're walking off together, Dante, classic Dante, he slowly slides his hand down Kat's back onto her butt. I thought that was funny. It was a classic Dante move with how Dante is with the girls. Anyway, I do wish that Dante and Kat, kissed or something, because you can totally tell in this game that they start to dig each other. But something we never saw, sadly. Something the game did that I loved is that it showed the development of the game during the credits. It showed inside the Ninja Theory office, workers at their computer doing the designs for the demons of the game, and just the workers having fun during the production of this game, which was cool. I love the credits because it was fun reading them and just seeing what was going on behind the scenes. Pretty fun. So, in total, what would I give this game as a score? I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. The boss battles are fun, except for Mundus as the last one. He's not that fun. But everyone else was really fun. It's fun exploring Purgatory and seeing the effects it has on the real world. That was neat. I love the characters in it. The only thing I didn't really like is that once you go to the shop to upgrade your weapons or to buy health or anything, like, the price for stuff increases. Which, I get that, but not really though. Like, why not keep the prices the same? That one was kind of weird. Like, the game's not hard, probably like, it has 13 missions total, and they only take like 20 minutes each. It's hard to not die them. It's easy to stay alive through the missions. But each time you buy a life, the price for them goes up. So I thought that was kind of stupid. Other than that, it's a great game. Really fun. So yeah, that is Devil May Cry 2013, the reboot of the series. Personally, I loved it. I thought it was super fun, super interactive, super immersive, really pulls you into the gameplay. I loved it. That was really fun. Anyway, if you guys liked this video, if you liked the 2013 game Devil May Cry, please give a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you liked it or not, and what your favorite boss fight was. Anyway, that is the end of the video. And yeah, next demon slashing game I'll make a video of. Could be another Resident Evil, could be another Devil May Cry, but it'll definitely be an exciting video. Anyway guys, we'll see you next time.